Welcome to Podnutz Daily for August 4th, 2008. First announcement. Episode 22 of Podnutz will be... It actually is released. It's only on the RSS feed, though. It's not on the podnutz.com website. So... click the RSS buttons if you want to hear it before I get... I'm going to put it on the website tonight. I just haven't had a chance to do it yet. It'll be a few hours before that's up. But you can still hear the MP3 if you just click on the RSS button and listen to it from the feed. Or you can subscribe. And that's another way you can hear it. Had a HP Pavilion desktop come in today. Customer said... this is funny. I wasn't here when he brought the computer in, but I heard that he had tried to put the headphones... He tried to plug in his headphones in the firewire port in the front of the machine. Don't ask me how he did that, because the 1/8" jack is a little different looking than the firewire port. But anyway, when he did that, he said the computer went POOM. And that was all that was written on the slip when I came in. So we checked it out, and we turned the computer on. Motherboard was acting a little funny. The fan was just constantly on high speed, and there was no video. He had a gigantic video card in it, by the way. We moved the video from the card into the onboard graphics slot, the VGA port from the onboard graphics slot, and we got video. So we thought there might have been a problem with the card somehow. I don't know how the headphone and the firewire could relate to the card, but that was a symptom that we were dealing with. So unplugged the PCI Express card, put it back in the slot, fastened it, and made sure it was locked. Screwed it down, plugged the monitor back in. The computer works fine. So I don't know what exactly was wrong that made the computer go POOM, as he says, but we ran it for a while. After reseating the video card, everything seemed fine. So that, I consider, is a job done. I finally got around to... I didn't use UltraVNC Single-Click unless they changed the name of it. Let me read a quick email here sent by William. Because he heard the last couple episodes where I was talking about using Single-Click. He says, Steve, don't waste your time with Single-Click VNC. Just use the new product from the same guys that did Single-Click VNC, PCHelpWare. And it is at uvnc.com/PCHelpWare. He goes, try the internet, and if you go to that website, you'll see a video tutorial of how to use the remote software. He says, try Internet Explorer if the video does not play in Firefox. I've experienced that the video does not play in Firefox, but you'll get audio. He says, it's super easy to use. Some suggestions, though. First, don't use UPnP. UPnP is not secure. Also, it's also a good time to check that your router has UPnP turned off. If you guys listen to Steve Gibson at all, he's always talking about that as well. He said, William says, open a port and forward it to the appropriate computer. Also set yourself an account with dyndns.org and use it as the IP in the IP config field. This will make more sense if you actually go through the tutorial and try this. Any questions, or if you want help or step-by-step, let me know. I'd be glad to remote into your computer to show you how. Thanks for the show, William. And he's from gemstatecomputers.com. It's gemstatecomputers.com. Thanks, William. I tried that product you're talking about. I watched the video a couple times to make sure I was doing everything right. Works like a charm, guys. This thing is slick. It creates a little server file. I saw Mitch actually talking about it in the chat room before the show. I'll get with him later. And I want to know how he's doing with that. It's a great program. It creates this little file. It's under 1 megabyte big. And you just put it up on your website or wherever you want to put it. Or you can email it to your customers. And once they get it on their computer, they open it. It asks them for a username and password. And they either leave it blank if that's what you choose, or you could set up a username and password for them. And they hit connect, and boom. As soon as they hit connect, it appears right on your screen. Their desktop appears right on your screen. Simple. And I used it twice today, and it worked great. So thanks, William. And thank you for the UVNC guys for making an awesome free product. Okay, next thing is cleaning out your machines. I talk about this every once in a while. First thing I usually do when I get a desktop or a laptop into the shop is I take it out front and we're thinking about taking it out back because it's been getting pretty bad with the dust. And we just blow with compressed air. We just blow all the dust out of it. Now we're going through a lot of compressed air, so we're looking at other options. I'm thinking about doing what Carrie Holzman from Computer America says and getting a light leaf blower. I'm looking at a battery-powered one and using a leaf blower. He's like, that just is great for blowing the dust out of the computer. I've also heard if you use a full-size leaf blower, you'll be blowing dust and all the components out of the computer, so don't try that. I take the computer out front, I blow dust in and get all like the big chunks of dust out, and I mainly focus on the CPU fan because you got to look under the fan onto the fins of the heatsink that's covering the CPU. It can be caked in dust and you don't even see it. So be sure to get all that dust out. That's the most important thing you want to dust out when you're cleaning out these computers because that is what needs to be cooled the most, the CPU. So make sure you get all the dust out of that. And I don't know if you guys are having a problem with this. I use Skype at my office as my office line. The phone number I have is actually through Skype. It used to be called Skype In. I don't know what they call it now. I think they just call it having a phone number. And today, the connection was really bad. And I'm thinking that I have Comcast. I've heard Comcast throttling these kind of things. I'm wondering if they're throttling my bandwidth. And I'm going to find out tomorrow because I'm going to call them if it keeps up. Because my customers say they can't understand me, and everybody I call says the terrible connection, and it never used to be that way. So something's changed. I unplugged the modem, I plugged it back in. I unplugged the router, I plugged it back in. We don't have any major bandwidth sucking things going on at the shop there, so nothing really changed except maybe their service. So we'll see about that. I'm going to read a couple emails real quick. Mark Cobb, and if you guys don't know, Mark did the episode of Podnutz with me that's been released. If you haven't heard it yet, check it out. I think it's really awesome. It's great to hear different tech's point of view about how to run a computer repair business and the techniques they use in their business and a bunch of other stuff. You guys would like that, I think. I had a great time doing the show, so thanks, Mark. He sent me an email saying, this weekend I emailed a copy of the EXE to AVG. He's talking about Antivirus 2009, which is that the fake antivirus program going around. It's actually called XP Antivirus 2009. Or it might just be called Antivirus 2009. I got to check with Mark. They replied back and said that they would add the Trojan in the next definitions update. This morning I scanned the file with AVG with the latest definitions, and now it detects it. Nice service from AVG. Now I'm no longer embarrassed that the free antivirus that I recommend to my customers doesn't detect such a widespread Trojan. I think that's an awesome thing that Mark did. He actually found this virus and sent a copy to AVG so they can include it in their virus definitions, and they did, and now he doesn't have to